The toasted smell of hot chapati fills the room of Jagtaran Singh's house. It is a typical Sunday where Jagtaran's grandchildren dash in and out of the kitchen waiting for their breakfast. His wife, Mrs. Sajid Kaur, is a traditional housewife who tries to keep her 2 married daughters, their husbands, her 3 grandchildren, and an unmarried son with her under her roof as often as she can.
Punjabi cooking basically comprises of mainly, we keep up to the tradition in our family. So this is the main dish that we usually have, chapati and of course pranta. This is called a pranta. And as you can see, we've had this thing which is called in Punjabi chakla velna, otherwise the rolling pin and the rolling board, where we actually put the mixture, flour mixture, and roll over and make this pranta.
There are close to 150,000 Sikhs in Malaysia, and for this small community to keep its culture and people together is one big effort. For generations, Sikhs in Malaysia and many Asian countries have opposed marriage outside the community because they do not want to dilute their culture. The last decade has seen an ardent revival of this movement to nurture the Sikh culture and religion. Public interest was drawn to this community last year as thousands of Sikhs went on a 4 km procession to celebrate the 300th year of the Sikh holy scripture Guru Granth Sahib. Many young professional Sikhs now take a keen interest on discussing the future of their community. Dr. Ravinder Kaur, 38, who went through an arranged marriage, feels arranged marriages and marrying their own race can somehow help to maintain the culture.
When you have outsiders coming in, I'm talking about another race, then it will be like, you know, it's like mixed, and then the main culture is not there. But when we have one family with one race alone, I feel it brings everyone together. The culture in the family is important. Okay, for example, weddings. That's when we get together, we do the real Punjabi thing, you know, the Sangeet night and the fere. What we call fere is when the real wedding proceedings, all that fere I show you, right? Fere is actually in the temple. This is the temple where everybody meets to the boys' side and the girls' side meet. All these things is part of the culture of the whole community. And then this is fere, where the bride and the groom face the Guru Granth Sahib, and they are given vows. Main thing the community can do is within themselves teach their children, because it's not what others from outside do to maintain. It's what you do within yourself in your family to tell your kids that, you know, this is important. For example, my son, I've cut his hair, all right? And whatever I've taught him or whatever he's going through in his life from now till he's 18 or 21 years old, if he wishes to go on to keep his hair long and put the turban, I have no objections.
There are a few institutions and centres besides the Gurdwara in the Klang Valley that teach Sikhism. All this effort is aimed at promoting the Sikhs' way of life. One of them, the SGGS at Wisma Tak Khalsa in Kuala Lumpur, has 300 children that attends classes at the centre to learn Sikhism and its history. It also teaches children Gatka, the Asian martial arts of the Sikh warriors. The Academy's program is geared towards developing well-learned Sikhs who are able to read and understand Guru Gurbani, have pride in their rich religious heritage and celebrate the greatness of Sikh religion.
Sikhs are known to be warriors. We are a warrior race, and we basically uphold we do not do tyranny. What we do, we uphold the rightfulness of people and how do we do things. We realize that today's generation of kids and adults, they have drifted away from scripture study, which is the study that's most important to build character, to give people the necessary know-how, how to manage their life, how to live a good life, how to be a good person.
There are issues that the Sikhs have been dealing with for years, like the lack of identity, removal of turban and short hair. And they're still dealing with them today. Although it does not condemn marrying out of the community, it does not exactly approve of it. They believe that the difference in language and culture would put a strain on the marriage.
The significance of unshorn hair is that it is signifying the naturalness of the world. When people are natural, they do not have to cut. If you take anybody from birth and you let them to grow up as they are, they will look like Sikh. They have a beard, they have an unshorn hair. The turban is to be adorned because the hair needs to be well managed, and basically we do a trash knot on our head, and after that we have to cover our head because we believe that the head is the jewel, the crown of the human body. It is an identity where among millions of people, a person with a turban can be identified as a Sikh and a person that you can ask help from and they can never say no. Obviously, I mean, we have seen families who marry outside the race. What actually happens is they all come from two different cultures, two different backgrounds, two different languages. Man, woman in love, I think they can manage. But it's the next generation that becomes the biggest problem when the children are growing up. A child doesn't know how to identify himself, whether he's a Sikh or, for example, he's a Chinese. And language becomes the biggest problem. Mother doesn't speak the language, and mother is a very strong person in the family to help to enforce this kind of values. So these are the problems that you have by having intermarriage. I'm not saying that these problems do not exist when you do a marriage within the same religion or within the same race, but the instances of intermarriage and managing all these issues are difficult, more challenging, and that's why we believe that we should propagate. I personally believe that two people of the same culture, same background, and has got the same guru, and when they get together in union, their point of reference is the same person. The guru is the point of reference of getting advice, of getting guidance. So that's, I believe, is the significance of getting married within the same race, within the same religion.
Jaktaran, who had cut his hair for what he called a matter of convenience, has since regretted his decision.
I was 24 years old and I was posted to the East Coast in Malaysia for work, and I had just finished the course at the Outward Bound School where I had to go and dip into the sea with my head first together with all the participants there, and I found that it was so inconvenient happening every day. For the convenience, I removed it, but of course I do regret what I done. After that, I of course continued with this attire until I came on a transfer back to Kuala Lumpur, and the community does not regard me as an outsider or any of those people who do not wear a turban, especially in this country. We are still Sikhs in heart.
So, what does it really take to be a Sikh at heart? The three other men in this family, with their shorn hair and liberal views, accept to a certain extent the need to marry within the community and discuss their concern for nurturing the culture.
Sikhism is a very young religion, way of life, I would say. There are not many of them around, and especially in this country, as you say, 150,000. We're trying to make sure that, the parents and the elders, they are trying to get away from mixed marriages because they don't want conversions. They want more people in the community.
Having said that, also this day and time, you can't really be too stern or too strict about certain things. There has to be a little bit of give and take here and there as well. I was introduced by a friend. We were introduced by a friend actually at a friend's wedding. Not a function that was created actually, but we happened to be introduced at a friend's wedding, and after that a friend of mine just called me up, the same guy who got married, and he told me, remember this girl that was on your table, she's eligible and she's looking, and why don't you give her a call, and blah blah blah. So then that's when I took the first step. I just got a phone number, gave her a call, and we arranged a meeting. Came here and picked her up for dinner, took her out for dinner. No, actually supposed to go out for dinner, but we ended up having rotiang at home and saag with the parents, So that was quite kind of an awkward first date, But it worked, you know. So that's what happened for me.
Mine was arranged by the parents.
And you were okay with it. And how many arranged marriages did you arrange matches before?
One. So
Wow. That was your first.
oh, that was my second. Previously there was one.
Okay.
I haven't had any yet.
We can see.
Of course, I want him to be married, but I don't know why he's so slow.
Are you finding matches for him?
I am, but he must agree first.
But
which
is
is
he agreeable to be matched?
I have actually not asked him as yet, but at the same time, I feel maybe he wants me to look for a girl. I won't know, but that's what is my instinct tells me maybe.
Just Raj, do you like chapati? No. Do you like pronta?
Say yeah.
No, I like pancakes.
In this chapati versus pancakes battle, the Sikh community has lots more to do to combat the glitzy urban culture, to stay together and to ensure their rich and colourful heritage will not be lost.